Today we will learn about the first chapter of class 12, that is electric charge and field part 1. In this chapter we will discuss about electric charge, Gottlieb electroscope, properties of charge, Coulomb's law, relative permittivity, force between multiple charges and charging by induction. Let us start with electric charge. Now, what is electric charge? It is observed that if two glass rods wrapped with wool or silk cloth are brought closer to each other, they repel each other, and the piece of wool or silk cloth with which the rod were wrapped were also repel each other. It is concluded that there are two kinds of entities which is called electric charge. The glass rod, wool, silk acquire an electric charge. Electric charge is a fundamental property of matter. When a glass rod is wrapped with silk, the rod acquires one kind of charge and the silk acquires the second kind of charge. This is true for any pair or object that are wrapped to be electrified. Now, two objects are wrapped together to create electricity. One object gives up electron and become positively charged, while the other material collect electrons and become negatively charged. This is because one material has weakly bound electrons and the other has many vacancies in its outer electron shell, so electron can be moved from the former to the later, creating a charge imbalance after the material are separated. This kind of electricity is known as static electricity. Due to rubbing, the glass rod lost its electron and become positive, and silk cloth become negatively charged. After some time, when we will brought the electrified element in contact, they will not attract or repel each other because within this time it balance its electron and proton. So this kind of electricity do not live long and become zero after some instantaneous time. When we will talk about electric current, we nearly always mean the flow of electron, and when we will talk about static electricity, we generally mean an imbalance between negative and positive charge in different objects. The like charge repels each other and the unlike charge attract each other. Now, Gold-Deep electroscope. Gold-Deep electroscope is a instrument used to measure the existence of charge. The instrument is shown in figure. It is consist of a metal knob and two gold leaf attract to its bottom end. When a charged object touches with the metal knob, the leaf gets charged and diverges. As like charge repels each other, so it can be concluded that the rod is electrically charged. Now we will talk about properties of charge. Number 1. There exist only two types of charge, normally positive and negative. Number 2. Like charge repels and unlike charge attract each other. Number 3. Charge is a scalar quantity. SI unit of charge is coulomb. Number 4. Charges are additive in nature. That is, it will follow the algebraic sum. Let us consider 3 charges plus 2 coulomb plus 7 coulomb and minus 5 coulomb. So after the algebraic sum, we will find the total charge on the system is 4 coulomb. Number 5. Charge is quantized. This is also known as quantization of charge. That is, electric charge exists in discrete packet rather than in continuous amount. It can be expressed in integer multiples. Fundamental electronic charge Q is equal to plus minus Ne, where N is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and E is the charge of electron, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Number 6. Charge is conserved. When a glass rod is wrapped with silk, negative charge appears on silk and an equal amount of positive charge appears on glass rod. The algebraic sum of positive and negative charge in an isolated system remain constant. Point to be remembered, it is not possible to create or destroy net charge carried by an isolated system. Although the charge carrying particles may be created or destroyed in a process. Sometimes nature creates charged particle, a neutrons turn into a protons and a electron. Now we will talk about Coulomb's law. The electrostatic force of induction, attraction or repulsion between 2-point electric charge is directly proportional to the product of charge and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them and acts along the line joining to the charge. Let us consider two charges q1 q and q2 separating at a distance r, and the Coulomb force of attraction between them A proportional to q1 q2 equation number 1, A proportional to 1 by r square equation number 2. So A proportional to q1 q2 by r square. To avoid this proportion we can use a constant, so A is equal to k into q1 q2 by r square. In case of electricity, the constant k is notified as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square, where epsilon naught is the permittivity of free space. We will talk about the value of this epsilon and 1 by 4 pi epsilon. Epsilon is a constant. Its value is 8.8542 into 10 to the power minus 12 Coulomb square Newton inverse meter inverse square, and 1 by 4 pi is equal to 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square Coulomb square. Now we will discuss about relative permittivity. The dielectric constant or relative permittivity or specific inductive capacity or dielectric constant is given by epsilon r is equal to epsilon by epsilon naught, where epsilon r is the relative permittivity, epsilon is the permittivity in a medium, and epsilon naught is a permittivity of free space. The relative permittivity is basically defined by the ratio of absolute permittivity of the medium to the permittivity of free space. It can be defined as the ratio of electrostatic force between two charges separated by a certain distance in vacuum to the electrostatic force between the same two charges separated by the same distance in that medium. That is epsilon r is equal to force in vacuum by force in that medium. Now we will know the Coulomb's law in vector form. The force of attraction or repulsion between two particles is given by A vector 1 2 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 into q2 by r square r on 2 cap. So the force is directing towards the vector r on 2 cap. R on 2 cap is the unit vector along the force F12. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square. Now r cap can be divided as r vector by mod of r. So we can conclude F12 vector is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r cube and r on 2 vector. Now we will discuss about the force between multiple charges. We have considered the Coulomb force with respect to two charges q1 q2. If the number of charges is n, then we have to use the force between multiple charges. Consider a system of n stationary charges q1 q2 q3 tends to qn in vacuum. We have to find the force on q1 due to q2 q3 tends to qn. Experimentally, it is not verified that force on any charge. Experimentally, it is verified that force on any charge due to a number of other charges is the vector sum of all the force due to the presence of other charges. This is termed as the principle of superposition. So force between 1 and 2, F12 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R12 square along the direction of R12 cap. Thus F13 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R13 square along the direction of R13 cap. So F is equal to F12 plus F13, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R12 square R12 cap plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 R13 square R13 cap. Similarly, the force on Q1 due to other charge F1 is equal to F12 plus F13 plus F14 tends to F1n. So using the value we can find F is equal to Q1 by 4 pi epsilon naught sum over R is equal to 1 to n Qi by R on I square R along the direction of R on R cap. Now we will discuss about charging by induction. The process of charging without contact is known as charging by induction. When electrified rods are brought near light object, the rods attract the light objects. This happens due to induction. When a charged object is brought near but not touched to the natural conducting object, to the neutral conducting object, the presence of a charged object near a neutral conductor will force electron within the conductor. So opposite charge will come to the surface of the sphere and unlike charge will gather on the other surface. Thus the uncharged sphere will be charged. This process is known as charging by induction. Now we will follow the charging by induction step by step. Now step 1, let us consider a uncharged conducting sphere on a insulator. Step 2, a negative charged rod brought closer but not in contact to the sphere. The near end of the conducting sphere become positively charged and the far end become negatively charged. Step 3, when the negatively charged end is touched with finger or grounded, then the negative charge will flows out. Only positive charge remain on the sphere. Step 4, the positive charge now equally distributed throughout the sphere. So the conducting sphere become positively charged. Thus, without any contact or rubbing, we can make a conductor negative or positively charged. This is the end of part 1 of this chapter. We will discuss about part 2 and 3 of this chapter later. And finally, thank you.